Oh, yeah.
Mike's alive. Here we go.
All right, let's do it. No, no singing, guys. Those women are at it again. Can you believe it?
Those women.
Got dark fast.
Dang it. Are you allowed to dislike Battlefield 5 without being a sexist, racist, or a sexy racist? We're going to answer that question definitively right now. We're all going to cycle it around and we'll have an answer for you. So keep watching because you don't want to accidentally be sexist. We're going to tell you that answer to that and so much more on this authentic and realistic bowl of dude soup. Oh, shit.
Whoa. It's a real show, guys. This is an intro that we've seen 100 million times.
Yeah, it's like 3 years old.
John.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is.
I watch it.
No one here has to watch this podcast. You're in it. Everyone else, though, I will judge intensely.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we have our panel of gender relations experts.
Oh, boy.
Good to be back.
I never said I was a gender relations expert.
Well, that's the title I'm foisting upon you. I'm your host and gender relations master, Lawrence Sontag.
Oh, that's the wrong word to use.
Bruce Green, my gender relations expert, is on my left.
Oh, boy. Yep. That's
and
me.
to my right, I have two also gender relations experts.
Don't ever put us in the same sentence.
I'm non-linear.
Don't put us at the same table at a wedding. Don't. I refuse to even be near John Smith at a movie theater.
Oh, hey, Omar. I think you got to kill the music. It's still playing.
Fuck, sorry.
That's all right, man.
It's all cool.
There's so many buttons to hit. There's just a lot of them. There's a lot of buttons. This podcast is sponsored by 3 sponsors. You got the Black Tux, Hims, and Squarespace. You can get $20 off your purchase at Black Tux by going to blacktux.com/soup. You can get a trial month of Hims for $5 while supplies last at 4hims.com/dude. And you can get 10% off your purchase at Squarespace, your first purchase at Squarespace, by going to squarespace.com/dudesoup. Man, we're making some crazy money.
Give me that list of battlefields. I want to see all
Yeah.
the battlefield games.
Did you say something about a black tux?
I did, John, who is wearing clothes not from the Black Tux.
Yeah, that's not at all from the Black Tux.
Don't look at those items and assume that
I
is the
could
level
tell.
of quality.
You look like
you're
the
going
penguin.
Also, your gun is poking out.
to. Yeah, you brought
What
a gun.
Why are you wearing that?
Batman Returns'
Why wouldn't I,
20th
Bruce?
anniversary is today, Bruce.
Why wouldn't you?
yeah.
Because you're a normal
We're on
person.
a set. This is a special episode.
No, it's
I'm a
not.
special guest.
Still wearing a t-shirt and moccasins with shoes or socks on too.
These are my mocks. Yeah, you can see the bottom side.
You can't call it mocks.
I know.
Can you not call
Why
them
not?
I don't know. It just seems like it's not allowed.
that? There's not many of them left to be offended, so I guess do whatever you want.
Yeah, we kind of killed them all.
Yeah,
Whoops.
they're just like, whatever.
Moccasin's not a tribe. It's just a name for a shoe, right?
I don't know.
I just feel like calling them mocks is wide-defying the word.
What about that movie?
Last
Last of the
Moccasins have
Moccasins.
not even cracked in yet.
Last of the Moccasins.
That was a joke, by the
Mohicans.
way. I don't give a fuck.
Mohicans.
All right, so here's how we're gonna decide.
Thank you. It's delayed, but
Here's how we're going to decide for you whether or not you're allowed to be upset. And if you are upset, we're also going to let you know if that's a hidden signal that you're actually sexist.
Oh, upset about Battlefield 5?
Yeah. So
so you can be sexist without even knowing it.
yeah, you might be. And apparently, if you're
I
mad at
was
Battlefield
for
5, that
years.
means you are sexist. So here's how we're gonna do this, because this is scientific. I have papers. I have, as near as I can tell, I've read through a shitload of feedback about Battlefield 5. And actually, it seems pretty awesome, but we'll get to that. I have tried to splinter off each individual little thing that people have problems with Battlefield 5 or the way it's been represented so far. And for each one of those atomized, kind of sectioned, walled off little issues, we're going to discuss it briefly and then pass judgment on it,
I like it.
of whether or not it's a valid thing to be upset about. Yeah. But you'll do that by giving it a rating of another Battlefield game.
Boy, this is confusing.
Yeah, so this will be the Battlefield Bad Company of arguments.
Oh, play
That will
for
be the-
free!
That will be the Battlefield Online of arguments. There's your list. All the
forgot all
DLCs
about
are on there
these.
too.
The beauty of calling it Battlefield 5 when it was preceded by 62 games.
Look at the list.
almost goes down
the
the
list
page.
of games.
You got the deal. Yeah, you got the expansion packs on there too. Wow.
There's so many.
So
Wait,
so yeah,
What's the difference between Battlefield Heroes and Play for Free?
they were Battlefield Play for Free was PC. And
Yep.
wait.
No, Play for Free was PC. It was.
I know, but there's also Battlefield Online, which was also PC. I think Play for Free was like China territories.
Also, Play for Free was a
Heroes was
it was like
console-based.
downgraded. It was really shitty.
Right.
I
Oh,
tried
okay.
it.
It was like reused assets from like
It was garbage.
1942 maybe or something
Yeah.
like that. Okay.
All right.
It was terrible.
So I'm going to leave with a softball here. And this is the easiest one to dunk on, so feel free. Issue number 1 with Battlefield 5. Women shouldn't be in any video games ever.
Wait, who said that?
I'm just saying. I'm just sectioning it off. That by itself, regardless of context, regardless of history.
Okay.
Pass your judgment on that sentiment and compare it to an existing Battlefield game if you could.
I judge no one in this scenario, but I'm going to say that's a pretty close-minded thing.
I actually judge everybody in this scenario. If somebody says that women shouldn't be in video games, I'm going to judge them. Because there should be women in video games. Just
In
like
the kitchen.
There should just be, just like there should be anywhere else in the world, because I love women.
So which Battlefield would that be?
I'm
Bruce?
trying to.
Was that play for free?
How am I supposed to judge? Yeah, okay,
Wait,
yeah.
is it the rating of the opinion?
This is a good question.
It is. How does?
Is this an SAT question?
kind of. Yes. Yeah. It is like a. Okay.
Okay.
So how that thought
this
makes
to
you
that?
feel.
Yeah.
It correlates to what Battlefield games.
So how the thought of women shouldn't be in any video games makes me feel should correlate with how the Battlefield that I played that sucks or is good.
Or
makes me
is
feel.
it how a woman makes me feel?
It can. Hey, whatever you think, John.
Oh, boy.
You will have to. You will briefly substantiate your correlation.
I'm going to say the thought of women shouldn't be in any video games makes me feel bad. So then I'm going to say that also Battlefield Play for Free was bad. So I rate it as a Battlefield Play for Free.
That's a solid
okay?
rating. Yes, solid.
Okay, all right.
Good job,
That's a
Bruce.
fair rating because I didn't play it, which means I ignored it, which also means I ignore what that person said. So it's pretty much one for one. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Harvard, here I come. Yeah.
Women make me Battlefield hardline.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know if he understood the concept, but
Penis erection. Got it.
Just making puns based on the title of the game.
Well, I thought you were going to say it's a bad opinion, so I picked Bad Company.
I thought he was going there too.
Yeah.
That company was good though.
But I like Bad Company.
Yeah,
It made
especially
me,
two.
It
Two
made
was
me
really
feel good.
Good company.
Battlefield Good Times.
Battlefield 1 wasn't on, or Bad Company wasn't on PC though, right?
No, only Bad Company 2.
Yeah, Bad Company 2 was like one of the first that's when I got back into PC gaming and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, it's awesome.
it doesn't feel like I'm in mud anymore.
Yeah.
Neat.
All right, so we've pretty definitively dunked on that one. That's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
If you were mad at Battlefield 5 purely because it had women or people of color in it, maybe go fuck off a little bit. However, there are other angles to that are a little more valid, and we'll get to those in a minute. All right, issue number 2. This is also a little bit shitty, but a little softer. The appearance of women and people of color in any media now is pandering. So the idea that
I've heard people say that.
that the developers are forcing representation to get sales from SJW client bases, or they revel in the controversy for free publicity.
Sure.
There was a Twitter thread from DICE general manager Oscar Gabrielson, in which he's just like, hey, if you don't want women in your game, too bad, it's here to stay. It did have a bit of a sanctimonious tone. Granted, it is a Twitter thread.
Right.
but-
I guess it's usually better if someone gets up in arms about your casting decisions and you went, oh, I didn't notice that. That's
Oh, yeah.
probably better that you're just like, oh, we just cast the people who are right for the story we were trying to tell.
Right.
But he says all media, right?
Well, let's see here.
Because
Pull up this thread here.
they just announced Jamie Foxx's Spawn.
Cool.
Really?
I think that's good
Nice.
casting.
Shit, that's awesome.
But
Why
is that
not? Why not just reuse Michael Jai White?
that's a really good question.
probably because they probably don't want to make the same movie? And I guess Jamie Foxx will take less money. It's a Blumhouse movie.
So
wow.
I know, weird, right? Nothing's making sense in this world, but
Oscar writes, player choice and female playable characters are here to stay. We want Battlefield 5 to represent all those who are part of the greatest drama in human history. Give players a choice to choose and customize characters they play with. Commitment to studios. It's basically like you took a stand on the easiest thing to take a stand on, which is, yes, women are good. And so it's weird because like a developer can set this up to where they have a winning platform, even though that's not what people are actually mad about. Again, we'll get to that in a second.
okay.
So for this very specific thing, the idea that women and people of color are being forced into media they wouldn't otherwise be a part of
Oh, I see.
because of the current political climate, or because
Okay.
there is a fan base that will yell if they're not there.
There is a line to that because,
You're eventually going
think-
to have to equate this to a Battlefield game, just so you know.
oh yes, I believe
So hard.
Rahul spoke of Rogue One, about how that almost felt like pandering because there was like every race. I always think of the community college advertisement where like one of each
yeah.
race are all like smiling and posing together. That's like they intentionally chose like everybody across the whole spectrum to include. And I think I read something when it talked about when you're doing it for that reason instead of just including people like who are the right for the role and everything, it almost becomes tokenism instead of inclusion, where you're doing it to do it. Yeah. So
there was a moment. Bruce and I were at the same thing. It was like we were watching Rahul. He was doing a Blacklist reading.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, if you don't know what the Blacklist is, that's where they read a script that can't be made, that Hollywood has deemed too racy, which they read it, we're like, that's not too bad.
Wasn't that bad.
Passengers was on the Blacklist for a long time.
Really? Yeah, I think it's just the new hotness. Like that's your new like indie film idea. I don't know, whatever. But I remember specifically the screenwriter went up and said, I just want to point out there's not a single white man up here, and they all clapped. And I remember like Jamie both looked around like, are we gonna die?
Did we do something wrong?
I'm sorry for being born this way, and like I didn't notice that when I went there because there was like a lot of like cool actors who were up there. And I was like, oh, it's Chidi from The Good Place. All right, cool. But then I didn't go, fantastic, no whites. Like, it never crossed my mind. I just wasn't thinking about it until this woman put it in my head, and she's like, "You're wrong." And I'm like,
I didn't do anything.
should I go? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. They're like, your family's owned slaves. Like, my family's from Eastern Europe, like circa 1943. I don't know what they did. Sure, we all committed some atrocity, but I'm sorry. Or my family is responsible for something, I'm sure.
How about judge me for what I've done?
Yeah, there's plenty.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
I agree, guys. White people haven't done that much wrong.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
I'm just getting my Reddit response ready now.
Yeah, you might want to
because I have to start typing this up.
Well, okay.
To clarify what I meant by everything.
Oh yeah,
do I
it's
have to
easy
still
to
write
yank
this?
stuff out of context. You absolutely do. So let me preface it here. Do you feel that the representation, specifically in Battlefield 5, is pandering or out of place? And we'll get to the rest of the weird
Okay.
stuff later because it is a little weird.
I can't definitively say because the game is not out yet, and I don't know what their tone is yet. Marketing is it can be so misleading, as we've seen with so many things recently, games included, that they try to sell you on one thing and it's another. And if that's what they're going for, this sort of cartoony hero sort of shooter, it's like if that was your goal, awesome, and that means you execute on it. But if it was a last minute thought before they made the trailer of like, we're gonna throw this in so that we can get some hot women to pre-order our game, then it's like, okay, then who am I to fault a business for whatever they're doing, trying to recoup their millions of dollars invested in this Swedish company.
So you're abstaining judgment until you play the game?
Yeah, I can't make a judgment call on this game specifically.
Right, which Battlefield is that?
So another Battlefield I abstained from playing was Battlefield Heroes.
Okay,
There
so
you
the
go.
Battlefield Heroes of Opinions. John, where do you fall on this?
I'm gonna say, hey, maybe it is pandering. Maybe society has kind of reached a point where we're too self-aware of all these social issues and like actively trying to not, like in The Animal with Rob Schneider, where was it Mike Epps?
I knew
was
someone was
his
going to bring up
friend.
The Animal with Rob Schneider.
Yeah, and his whole shtick was that he could do whatever he wanted because everyone was being reverse racist, or they were too afraid of being racist that they let him do whatever he wanted.
I just think he might be getting it missed.
So I'm gonna say that I think in the year 2142 this won't be an issue anymore.
It's not how the rating
So
works.
I'm gonna give it a Battlefield 2142.
I'll give you the most cut and dry answer, Lawrence, and then compare it to a Battlefield. The appearance of women and people of color in anything is pandering. That thought, I could say, yes, I think it might have some validity. And so I also thought the same thing about Battlefield 2142. I thought, hey, that's kind of a cool game, but I never played it.
Okay.
So that comparison then compares to the fact that I don't necessarily know if the appearance of women and people of color is pandering. And also, I don't really know what 2142 was like.
I mean, I can do you guys all. 2142 was pandering because sci-fi shooters were big at the time. And
Okay,
Battlefield
yeah.
was like,
There
fuck.
you go, yeah.
So they just
Was
made
it
a
'cause
sci-fi
of-
one.
It was like Halo was the thing at the time.
Yeah,
was
I'm
it
trying to
Halo?
remember what else. It was like Unreal.
What was the social climate of 2142?
It was great. You could do anything. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could only be dudes. Could be wrong about that. All right. Now we're going to get into the weirder ones that are, I think, much more subjective. But we'll see. We'll see once we figure out what Battlefield game to assign to it. So here's the next sentiment.
By the way, these are all quotes you left on the reveal trailer, right?
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
through my spider web of botnet accounts, trying to both incite the drama that I need for this podcast to be successful.
I just noticed you weren't quoting people, which to keep their identity safe.
I mean, yeah, this is also a paraphrase of a lot of different people saying a lot of different things.
Gotcha.
So it's not like people are self-sorting them into these camps. Oops. Groups of thought.
that still works. You can
You're
say
allowed to say the word camp. It's okay.
World War II.
I know what you're saying.
Speaking of
White people are calling camps at some point.
I think we do want to do a Funhaus camping trip. Just side note. Anyways.
Funhaus goes to camp.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys have enough work to do.
Camping is work.
Aren't you kind of camping at Pete's wedding,
Yeah.
where he's forcing you to sleep outside?
All right, so this sentiment is a bit of a twofer, so it takes an assumption of one for the next to make sense.
Cool.
Battlefield 5, or any creative work that derives from history, has a responsibility to accurately represent that history or disclaim if it is not accurate. And Battlefield and as a corollary to that, the proliferation of women and people of color in the battles depicted in the trailer are not accurate at all. So if you pair those together, the Battlefield 5 trailer is bad because it assumingly has a responsibility to somewhat realistically portray the events as they happened.
Gotcha. So, okay, does he say all media?
Well, no one. This is
No
just me
one. This
talking.
is this
Okay.
is like a summary.
Gotcha.
So it's people use like in the conversations, people brought up Inglourious Bastards a lot. Something
Yeah.
that seemingly was historically based, but also very obviously diverted from actual history at a
or
point.
did it? Yeah, it did.
So
Wait, what do I mean very obviously?
well,
Why?
What?
Why did
Inglourious
it very
Basterds?
obviously divert from history?
because
Because they killed Hitler?
yeah, Hitler died in a way that was
Okay. All right. That's good.
It's just
I'm asking.
yeah.
questions
You're
again.
following me down. Okay.
So, hold on.
Okay.
Wouldn't most video games very obviously divert from history as well? I would imagine so, considering you can jump in.
Oh, thank you, Omar. Yeah, we needed that one before.
What was that?
what was that?
That's the hot topic thing. This is a
Oh.
very hot topic.
Wouldn't most
Was that
video games,
him that just played?
I think
Wouldn't they very obviously divert from history because you can jump in a boat and then in a tank and then jump out of a jet and fire your rocket launcher at a
Yeah.
dude and then also hop in a train? Like, wouldn't that also be a thing?
I think that this argument is the most obvious with women and people of color, but it just depends on how educated people are, slash how nerdy they are about world wars.
Oh, I see.
Because
that's a different topic. We'll get to that in a minute.
Because I mean, I was going to say that. Okay. So we're just on the idea
Specifically-
of should video games specifically be
Well,
accurate to history?
in terms of like costuming and peoples that are in, like this was a big issue with the
What about-
Comb,
Yeah.
is that everyone said it was theoretically possible for people of color to be in that region of Europe at the time this game happened. So you could have chosen to represent them, but instead you didn't, which is still potentially accurate. But the fact that you chose not to makes us question your intentions with this game, which is it's a whole load of stuff and it's many assumptions deep. But specifically for this, let's assume that in a given World War II battlefield, there would have been very few, if none, women or people of color. So to have them featured so prominently in a trailer is historically inaccurate, and then historical inaccuracy betrays a responsibility of any historical work to faithfully recreate.
that kind of comes down to what the creator's purpose is.
absolutely
If their goal is to make a fun product that sells, then yes. But if their goal was to make a historically accurate VR simulator, then they did a horrible job.
Well, I was going to say, we can safely say that Battlefield 5 was designed to sell a lot of video games and make a fun video game.
I assume yes.
I'm not going to assume. I'm going to say yes.
I haven't booted it up yet. I don't know.
The game was made to be fun and to sell a lot.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure that was the objective of the video game.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many moments. Like this reminds me of Assassin's Creed, where they get you in with that hook of like, you're gonna go to ancient Italy, or Renaissance Italy, and you're on a flying machine. It's just like, wait, what? It's like and you must hit there will be bonfires lit that will lift you up, which scientifically makes sense. Like, yeah, I don't know if they ever did this. Like, doesn't matter. It's in a video game. It's fun. You're dropping bombs. You have unlimited bombs. Deal with it. It's cool. There's the knife. It stabs them in the neck. It's neat. Like, and like, I think at that point, that's where my brain went. I stopped saying, okay, I'm gonna stop questioning and reading a textbook to make sure it accurately lines up and go, am I having a good time right now in this fun simulation? I don't know. I am a history buff. I do enjoy history. I love history, but I also really enjoy fun video games.
Are you? You're a history buff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He went to Italy because of Assassin's Creed.
Partly, yes. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I feel like Bruce, it sounds like you dispute some of the basic assumptions about this statement, which I think is valid.
I'm going to say, I'll relate it to a Battlefield.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that Battlefield 5 does not have a responsibility to accurately represent historical events. And I'm going to relate that to the Battlefield game, Battlefield Vietnam.
Okay.
Because I'm sure it used aspects of Vietnam in the video game, but it was not historically accurate to Vietnam.
Well said.
There we go.
I guess that's true. It was more of a typical Battlefield where,
Yeah, it wasn't really
where the
guerrilla
fights
warfare.
the fights in Vietnam were more of like
No, it's just in the jungle.
this is in the
That's
jungle.
all it was.
There was no. Maybe there was a big battle. I
Oh,
don't know.
no, there
Not
may have
really.
been, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
but again, Battlefield Vietnam did not have a responsibility to historically, make this game accurate to what was actually happening.
That game was awesome.
It was
That
fun.
game's
I know it was an
great.
expansion, but yeah, Vietnam. Was
Adam, John, do you have a Battlefield rating for this particular sentiment?
I'm going to say that if you want a historically accurate World War II game, they already made that. Battlefield 1942.
That's not accurate at all.
Like Red Orchestra,
Well, there's no women or people of color in
or
it.
Dune? I guess that's
true.
true. Yeah.
So if you don't want to see that, go play 1942. You can still play it.
That's true.
All right.
My graphics.
Adam, do you have a rating for this?
I think games should be fun, and Battlefield 3 Close Quarters was a lot of fun for me.
It was a lot of fun, dude. Close quarters expansions are the best.
I
yeah,
enjoyed
Close Quarters.
I enjoyed that one because there were no vehicles, and I thought the gunplay in Battlefield 3 was really good. I thought it got pretty close. It's not exactly Counter-Strike, but it got close.
Close.
Right on. All right, moving on. This one's kind of an interesting one. I've seen this thrown around a little bit. Issue number, what are we on? 4? 4. The game is disrespectful to those that fought and died in World War II
Whoa, I didn't know this was
with
a
its
thing.
flippant portrayal of the events. So by rotating in women and people of color, you're taking something that was a hallowed moment in history and turning it into a stage with which you can do anything and have like goofy fights and stuff like this.
All war is fucking gruesome and tragic, and the fact that we play video games where we're murdering each other is disrespectful to war.
And then coming back immediately.
Yeah,
to
and then
again.
respawning.
point.
So that it's like if you're honing in on Battlefield 5 because of that, it's like that boat sailed away long ago.
There's some dudes that are pounding the Twitter threads being like, my grandfather died to do this, and this is spitting on his grave.
Well, hold on. My grandfather fought in World War II. So am I allowed to say,
Was he one of the wind talkers?
hey, you know
or
what? Okay, it's
whatever?
okay.
I think so.
I'm allowed to say that.
I guess everyone has to
right?
vote. I'm not sure.
I mean, are we allowed to speak for the dead? Can I do that? Am I allowed?
They
Yes,
put Cowboy
yes.
Man in a vacuum commercial.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you
Fred
can-
Astaire.
I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea.
Yeah, they digitally put.
They've done that. They've done that
That's
with
like
a bunch
20
of
years ago,
celebrities.
dude.
Brought him back and had him speak for corporate company.
Yeah, I
commercials.
feel like I have a worse problem with people like using the corpse of Carrie Fisher in a movie or whatever, and maybe, like going to the family and being like, "Is this okay? Like, is it okay that you pay me to use my grandmother's corpse? Go for
Yeah,
it."
hell yeah.
Yeah. What do you want? What else you want? I got some old Nazi jewelry in the back. I wasn't supposed to tell you about that, but there it is.
Yeah, whoops.
I don't.
That's a weird argument.
This one's tough, man, because like John said, movies are disrespectful to World War II, not just video games and
Yeah.
television's disrespectful. I mean, like there are plenty of things that were not made exactly to the specifications of what happened in World War II
Because it was more convenient for the film.
because it was a good story or something. you know,
Yeah.
like, so
I
like
think people were nitpicking Dunkirk, right?
yeah,
And they're like, no, actually, that wouldn't have happened. I'm like, I know, but I'm not going to enjoy this film if I keep doing that. I don't know. I think it was accurate. It felt accurate, but I don't know. I don't actually, as a history buff, I actually didn't know a lot about Dunkirk. It was fun to research, though,
yeah, I
on
read it too.
Wikipedia.
But the playful nature of video games all video games are disrespectful to war.
Yeah.
Most movies are as well.
I mean, like, I would agree. How am I going to relate this to a
Yeah,
Battlefield?
you guys got to put a Battlefield on it.
Which one of these games was not disrespectful?
Which one of these games summarizes your rating,
My feeling.
your judgment
My judgment.
of this sentiment that my grandpappy died in the trenches in France,
Jeez.
and I am offended because you've turned it into a hyper-saturated Fortnite fuck around.
Well, in Battlefield 4, we never fight China in real life.
In a Rising.
And, well, I was going to say Dragon's Teeth, which I think was also Chinese DLC.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since we haven't really fought China yet,
Yet.
yeah, we wouldn't fight with guns.
Trade
We
wars,
did drone wars.
Yeah, it'd be drone racing.
except it's like buying and selling drone parts, not actual drones.
Yeah. What does The Simpsons say? Future wars would be fought, not on land or sea, but in
World War
space, or at least a very tall mountain. Those wars will be fought by robots, and your job will be to build and maintain those robots. Fucking love Simpsons. Anyway, China Rising.
China
my
Rising,
answer.
all right,
Yeah,
all right.
because it's China.
The game is disrespectful to those that fought and died in World War II statement about Battlefield 5. Makes me so.
You're not yet.
I didn't even get to the Battlefield yet. It is so absurd, and I don't mean that in a bad way. In the sense that I just mean it's like, if this is the one example that you're like, you should be going through every single I'll go check your Twitter. Because if you tweeted about every single movie and video game and radio show and then okay, all right, you win. You got it. You win. But there are so many other things that are disrespectful to so many other things that I feel like at this point, it's just a video game, bud. And I also felt the same way about
All right.
Battlefield 1942. I said, this is just a video game, and boy, do I have fun with this video game because it's just a video game. So I feel the same way about this judgment. It's just this is just a thing. It's just an okay. Feel free to have fun with it.
Because 1942 came out around the time Saving Private Ryan did?
It was a couple years
It
after.
was during that
Okay.
that wave of World War II
Because
stuff.
Private Ryan came out in '98, and this
see
came
here.
out 2000.
Yeah,
2001.
something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
2002.
for people, saying video games, this one video game is being disrespectful. What's your Battlefield 3 end game? What's your end game, man? Battlefield 3.
Is that DLC?
That's
See,
the game. I
what
picked.
you're doing there is kind of more of a
You're playing a play on words.
It's a pun.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a
No,
rating.
You're supposed to do a judgment.
No, we're
it can be
judging.
both.
That is a judgment.
What did the DLC look like in Endgame?
You don't know.
I don't have the DLC for Battlefield 3.
That's the exact face of a man whose bluff has been called.
Yeah, I know.
There.
I don't remember any of these. They all just sound like words at the end of the day, like Armored Kill. There's another Armored Fury. Those are two. Those happened.
Back to Karkan was when they put the old map in.
Yeah. The 1942 map.
Karkan map.
That was cool.
Yeah.
What was the Karkan map?
It was the.
Wasn't Wake Island.
Car cam.
there was a bunch of buildings, and it was always a tank map. And
But it was flooded.
I don't know. It wasn't flooded in the
No.
original Karkan map.
That was
No,
Battlefield 4. That was the
Karkan was
flooded
like
one.
a Middle Eastern style buildings.
Okay.
With tanks and stuff.
Oh, right. That one.
All brown and
okay,
red.
yeah.
Copper red.
Yeah, that was awesome. Anyway.
All right. Moving on to issue number 5.
Do you have an ad read?
Well, you can still got. Yeah, we might as well get that out of there.
We're blasting through these right
Yeah,
now.
we are. Well, there's plenty of podcasts to get to, ladies and gentlemen. There's a particular video game that may or may not have a diamond headline that we'll have to discuss in depth. Maybe.
Really?
Maybe.
You know what he's talking about.
Wiggle my nose a little bit at you.
I don't know what he's
A
talking
little bit of that
about.
same.
Is that hat tight on your head?
It does hurt my head very much.
Well, John, if you had gotten a properly fitted suit from the Black Tux, you would be sitting pretty right now, sir. But instead, you just raided our wardrobe closet for a gun and a hat.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you did. You're not going to regret that, even though this podcast is 90 minutes. Not regret it for a second. This podcast is sponsored by Black Tux. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. Black Tux is a great service that lets you rent formal clothes online. And I know it's graduation season, so if you want to extra spiffy for your parents or just for ceremonies or whatever, this is a great option. You might want to take it to your parents or get it for yourself if you're in college, something like that. So basically the way it works is you measure yourself. They actually have a guide. You might need measuring tape or to go to actual like a rental store in a mall or something like that. They'll measure you. Or they have a new fitting algorithm that can apparently scan your body and guess most of it. The great thing is that they have free at-home try-ons. So however you choose to measure yourself, if you're a little bit off in any regard, they'll send you your suit. You get to try it on in advance, and they'll exchange out anything that doesn't fit. So you don't have to worry about the back and forth or just being uncomfortable all night. Because when you're comfortable, you excel, just in general. In life, you want that upgrade. If you want that upgrade, free, you want that promotion, you got to be wearing a nice fitting suit. It's true, not whatever brain squeezer John has on at the moment. It hurts so much. So they guarantee that provided you order well enough in advance, you'll get your suit 14 days before your event, which is plenty of time to try it on, try it out, see if you look good in it. And then you just send it back 3 days after your event. Shipping is free both ways. It's pretty convenient. It comes with like a tear-off label over the return label. So you just put everything back in the box the same way it came, tear off the label, and drop it off. And you're set. And you get $20 off your purchase at blacktux.com/soup. Once more, that's the blacktux, THEBLACKTUX.com/soup for $20 off your purchase. Premium rental suits, tuxedos delivered. Thank you, Black Tux, for the sponsorship. I've used their service a couple of times. Sometimes for content, and it always turns out great. So check it out, theblacktux.com/soup.
I wish I had used them. I ended up getting a really shitty tux at the mall for Joel's wedding. I looked like it was the suit my dad wore and like let me borrow. That sucked.
Yeah, baggy clothes. No, you want to.
Ugh.
You want to turn heads for the right
Two
reasons.
separate shirts had two separate stains on them.
Ugh. Yeah, everything I've gotten for Black Tux has been immaculately clean, perfectly pressed.
Damn.
Which is great because I
Maybe I'll get
never
that for-
take my shit to the dry cleaner.
I was gonna say I'll get that for Peak's wedding maybe.
Yeah.
I want to outclass Peak.
Oh.
He's
Crushed
gonna wear like a
velvet,
suit
man.
made of like fur or something.
Feather boas.
Yeah,
Jon Snow.
all the animals he captured and killed.
I just want to thank you, Lawrence, because you are one of the very few people that know that comfortable is a 4-syllable word. Most people say comfortable. It's like,
It is.
Get
have
outta
you
here.
spelled it?
Comfortable.
Comfortable.
He has these sorts of arguments at the drive-thru at Taco Bell.
Comfortable. Come on.
know
Like,
what
just
or
take
not?
your burger.
Turble.
It's a felony to mock the boxer. It's another Simpsons show.
All right, issue number 5.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, another one?
Yeah. Oh well, there's 4 more.
Oh thank God.
Plenty of Battlefield games to go around. So here's one that you were alluding to, John. The game is historically inaccurate for reasons beside representation. So having nothing to do with whether or not you're racist or sexist, there are people who think it's very weird that the Army Rangers, UK paratroopers, the UK SOF, the 101st Airborne, Japanese Axis troops, and French soldiers are all fighting in France at the same time in the same battle. And that they're using weaponry and armor that was either hugely theoretical or just wasn't practical, wasn't deployed. So all this stuff is now jumbled up, meaning that Battlefield is now kind of becoming this weird like best of World War II, where it's this almost alternate dimension
what it is.
thing.
Has it not been? That's
mean,
my
like-
question. Battlefield 4?
No, they would, again, they weren't trying to be historically accurate. What they would do, though, is they would take maps that were, let's say, in France. And they would be like, these two armies would be fighting in France. And they would pit the US versus the Axis or whatever. And they would try to do that. But there were lots of times that they would change things up and be like, oh, this other army, well, whatever. They'll put them in there, who cares, you know?
The weapons specifically have never been accurate. World War I, Battlefield 1 specifically, submachine guns were very rare. There's a whole class for them in the game. The rocket gun fucking sucked.
Wait.
That's just your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, is that
Wait, in the game or in real
No,
life?
it was highly ineffective.
Oh,
It like
In the
it-
game or in real life?
in real life. In the game, it fucks people up.
so if it wanted to be representative correctly, it would not work.
It wouldn't be in the game. Nobody had that gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, most guns, like there are a lot of guns that like were very, very rare to World War I that everybody can be running around with customized weapons and everything.
So, like,
that
weed leaves all
it
over
was
there.
Very inaccurate. So that was kind of the point I was making about the women and people of color is like, if you get mad about that, why aren't you getting mad about
Right.
Probably
like
are.
all
Maybe
of
they
the
did, yeah.
inaccuracies?
I've
like
seen
that. Yeah.
I was just saying, I've seen so many counter arguments that people go, well, you know, those guns did exist and they are there, and like these are all things that like they existed. They didn't exist together at the same time.
Yeah, it's like a little nugget of an idea that
Right.
they expand on.
It's the same argument that I think it was Bruce you pointed out or someone pointed out, where like the woman in the Battlefield trailer with the robot arm or whatever is like someone pointed. They're like, oh, that is a real thing that was there.
the prosthetic?
Yeah,
People found all that stuff. That,
like,
yeah, it's all,
and so I was like,
whatever.
I'm like, well, Battlefield's I guess kind of always been doing this, right? They always just take.
They take pieces.
They take
Yeah.
inspiration from history.
Yeah,
It's like the
exactly.
War Zeppelins in Battlefield 1. I don't think there were that many like floating battle fortresses in World War I.
I think if they were, that'd be pretty rad. I don't know. I guess you just shoot it once and it goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it pops.
We didn't think this through.
So it sounds like, don't let me put words in your mouth, especially before you equate it to a Battlefield game, but it sounds like you guys are basically saying that ship has long sailed, that Battlefield never represented 100% accuracy, and to claim it does now seems a little...
I'm trying to think of a video game that has been 100% accurate, and if we would even know if it's 100% accurate.
I'm glad you bring that
Arma.
up. I'm glad. Actually, Arma's not a bad, but I would, because I can already kind of see the comments for this video now, which is like a lot of people may be equating this to the Kingdom Come Deliverance podcast we did, which was the same thing. We're like, well, that wasn't historically accurate. I feel like Kingdom Come Deliverance set out to make that game historically accurate, whereas the Battlefield series has never set out to be like, this is exactly like war was.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of like they were trying to make a fun video game. So I guess the argument applies a little more to Kingdom Come Deliverance than it does to Battlefield, because Battlefield has always felt like more of just a fun video game that you're supposed to play with 64 of your friends.
Well, aren't the angry people flipped though right now? Wasn't the Kingdom Come thing? People were upset that they did not include minorities.
No. Well, let's see. The comments on our video were that basically we said, it's a video game, whatever, give it a shot, and then everyone's like, no, it is historically accurate. Like we should not be inserting, we shouldn't be pandering to people because those are the comments we received.
As always, I leave it to the creator, and it's do they have a vision and do they want to execute on it, and do they feel they executed on it
Right.
accurately? That's it. I am but a commentator and a consumer, and it comes down to, did I enjoy this content? Did I have a good time? And if I'm a person who is sitting there upset saying there's not enough diversity in this game, then you have every right to not buy that product.
Right.
You can voice your complaint, but then also know that it will most likely fall on deaf ears because you are just shouting what everyone else is shouting, and when that happens, the people you're yelling at tend to just tune you out. That's my experience in this world. So, Aftermath.
Battlefield 3 Aftermath.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I don't know which one that was.
Got it.
But I think they may have executed on their vision.
Okay.
Whatever that Aftermath was. Oh wait, I think I remember Aftermath.
Oh, it's here.
Is that the one where it's all the destruction stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
post-destruction?
Oh.
Is that it? Shit, I
don't know mine yet. You should talk to John.
I just
Yeah,
remember,
John.
remember Battlefield. Battlefield
well, I was
3 and
just-
4.
I was going to bounce
Next.
off what Adam said, was that basically people have already made up their minds. You can't change people's opinions. I'm talking to the audience right now. If you have an opinion and you
down
want
to
to
the
try to
audience.
convince
Talk down
someone that your opinion is right and theirs is wrong, you're not going to accomplish anything. You're just going to sound like a fucking bitch.
Well, see, by you talking that way, now maybe I'm swaying a little.
Yeah,
intrigued.
oh.
Maybe a little.
So like if you want to yell about something, that's fine, but you're not accomplishing anything.
but they might.
On all sides, all arguments ever throughout history, it doesn't matter. You're not going to convince anyone. You're not going to change anybody's mind. So
fatalist.
Final stand. Take your stand. If take your
not-
stand with your
Not the
opinion.
way this
not
works.
even close.
Not the way this
I love
works.
it.
I mean, I gave up too.
Battlefield 4 DLC Final Stand. All right. Good rating there, John.
So the game
let
is
that go.
historically inaccurate for reasons besides representation.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like it. Is that it's getting to an absurd level where it's losing even a passing relationship with World War II.
That makes me
Oh,
feel.
right.
It makes me feel crazy.
Yeah, that's what you were supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that. That makes me feel crazy.
Good catch.
Just like when I was playing Secret Weapons of World War II.
Yeah.
And Battlefield 1942, because Battlefield 1942 was fun, but then when they added Secret Weapons of World War II, speaking of which, were not at all historically accurate. It was just a bunch of garbage like a grappling hook.
Yeah, like lightning guns. And stuff.
Yeah, and lightning guns.
Do they have a grappling hook and secret weapons?
Yes.
I know Special Forces had that.
It was really
That-
janky.
I remember playing this I remember in myself when I was like, what was I, 18 at the time? I was like, this isn't at all World War II.
we played it on a demo disc. I remember
Yeah.
there was the plane that it launched off its own like
Yeah, and it
roller
went-
coaster thing, but
Oh,
then it had no
yeah.
wheels
Yep.
because I think it was all just sourced from like sketches a mad scientist made in World War II. And someone's like, but how do they land? He's like, what?
no, they don't land.
I think it
They
glides.
crash into the enemy.
Why does it need to land?
It runs out of ammo. No time to reload. You kill. It's made of aluminum.
explodes.
Yeah.
So that expansion made me feel crazy.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Someone's
Issue
gonna,
number
someone's
6.
gonna argue with you on that one.
I won't even be able to argue with them because I don't know what I'm doing. I'll argue with them with Battlefield games. We'll see who wins.
You can only have an argument with Battlefield.
Yeah, if you're scrolling on down, ready to leave a comment, remember that it must be in terms of relationships to a battlefield.
It has to be in terms of the Battlefield game.
All right. Issue
I will
number,
not respond to you otherwise.
People are just gonna bash out their normal hateful comment and be like, I don't know Battlefield 2 at the end.
I mean, Battlefield, or what is it? Call of Duty is not even the correct Roman numerals, and we're letting that slide. So who cares?
true.
They're just like,
All right, issue number 6. Pachow. This game is not spiritually accurate to Battlefield as a series. And this is a pretty big assumption from the quote-unquote gameplay trailer.
We've never even seen anything from it yet.
That I mean, you basically already knew
that thing is
sentiment,
that thing
but-
is basically a target render. So
Yeah, it's weird that they gave it like a HUD, and
is
they
weird.
shouldn't have done that.
that
'cause
felt
it doesn't
very
look like gameplay.
I will agree with him on that. Or I don't know who I'm agreeing with here, but
They.
that was misleading. I don't like when games do that. It's like show the
Yeah, I
show the
thought we were
gameplay.
past that. There was like I think it was Big Red 1, had a trailer that was very much like that Battlefield thing, where it's like
Yeah.
a guy was ducking around a tank, and they're like, take a gun! And then they like super a gun in there that's floating around, and it's supposed to look like gameplay.
But it was like on PS2, and people I remember buying that, being like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah,
don't
that was
look
the whole
like
thing.
trailer."
the interesting thing is the trailer depicts all these crazy moments, like a grenade blowing up a plane, tank busting through a house and shattering it like popsicle sticks. Jack Frags has a series of videos, because I think he's like in the EA Nest or whatever, where he basically got access, and he laid out in like pretty long and dry videos, here's all the gameplay things that are going to be in Battlefield 5. And the way he describes it is nothing like the trailer. Every little bit in the trailer does represent something from gameplay. Even like the covering a guy's mouth and shushing, that is meant to show that when you're like doing melee kills and stuff, you do get a face, which pays into the customization aspect. So if you have your warp paint on, you know that other players are going to
See
see
the wee
you.
leaves on their cheeks.
And like the thing about like sliding feet first with an MG42 was like ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck? Somebody's like gonna slide feet first with a light machine gun and shoot dudes at the same time.
Right.
However, that's meant to demonstrate that in Battlefield 5, if, as Jack Frax called it, if you have your gun on if you have your finger on the trigger and you're looking forward, you can shoot at any time, no matter what you're doing. So if you're mantling, you can shoot. If you're jumping, you can shoot. You'll be inaccurate as fuck. But I think that's what that was meant to do or show. And the trailer is like back-to-back goofy things that actually do show something real in the game. Like you can shoot grenades out of the air, and they do blow up, and they'll knock shit up.
Good luck.
And like destruction of interiors is different. So if like, and Jack's described it as like if you shoot a tank shell inside of a house and it blows up, all the debris will fly out. But if it blows up on the front of a house, it'll all go in.
Cool.
And that matters for like if you're aiming or shit like that.
That was the thing I really liked about Bad Company 2, was you could just destroy every house, but it also ruined the game because then there would be no cover.
yeah.
Because it would just be a flat ground. So like it was a good give and take. I don't know.
That was another thing, is like people heard about fortifications, which is like you can build things on the maps now. And they immediately went, Fortnite, you're copying it. It's not quite like that, because yes, if a house does get blown up, you can partially repair it with fortifications. Meaning you can rebuild the cover, you can build gun nests.
What if I want to knock down the wall between the kitchen and the living room so I
think
can
you
just
can do
open
that.
the whole thing up?
Open concept?
Yeah, I don't know. Something more for like entertaining guests on weekends.
That's
Yeah, you can totally do
That's
that.
something you can do in, is it World War II, Call of Duty World War II, the most recent one?
That have
Where
fortifications like that?
we
I don't
there
remember-
are like
Remember the big battle mode we did with like Achievement Hunter and stuff?
Yeah.
You can like rebuild.
That's right.
yeah, there are
Yeah.
doors and stuff.
like the
I think
zombie
it was like
mode,
a
kind of.
zone capture, where it was you switch back and forth, where you're defending and attacking, and then you switch.
But it was just like doors.
Yeah, it was like doors and walls and stuff that you could build back up.
Maybe barbed wire? I didn't play it enough.
There were like bridges and stuff you could do too.
Okay.
Yeah. That was one of the things to attack. You had to build the bridge to get to the next zone and stuff.
Gotcha.
Well, let's. So for the specific complaint that, as represented in the trailer, it does not look like an authentic Battlefield experience. It's like it's pretty goofy. It's pretty wacky. There's like dudes with katana swords and chicks with Cockney accents and barbed wire cricket bats. And the sentiment is all of that stuff seems way too cartoonishly goofy and oddly similar to things like Fortnite and things like that are more popular. That I feel that Battlefield, because of how it's being represented in the trailer, is not going to be the experience that I thought it was or that I associate with Battlefield.
So I will say, so it becomes a math problem in my head. That to the point that the game is inaccurate to Battlefield the franchise, I don't care about that.
Okay.
So then I also didn't care about Battlefield Bad Company, the first one.
Okay.
Didn't care at all about that first one.
I think that's what we're watching
This
here.
is Bad Company 2.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it
Bad
is? Okay, yeah. Because it starts off in World War II.
It's also PC.
Yeah.
Oh, it starts up in World War II?
It's a flashback, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think he plays like your dad. I don't know. Who cares? People like stories. Oh, okay. So he's upset that it's too goofy.
How valid do you think the opinion is of feeling like the trailer was not accurate to a Battlefield game?
That's tough because I keep thinking of like Battlefield 4 when they showed that trailer of the building coming down. Because
Oh, it was awesome.
what was the Enviro kill? What was the big
Levolution.
Levolution.
That was the buzzword that was plastered on someone's T-shirt at
was
some
fucking
point.
badass, though.
But there was the scene where the guys were in the ATV. They go up in the elevator and then they drive out, and the building's falling. Like, this is so fucking dumb. And then we did that a number of
It was
times.
awesome.
Yeah, except it was like we would jump onto helicopter. Like, was it like Dan would be piloting? I'm like, Dan, I'm on the top. I'm
jump
on the
out.
top, Dan. And then I'd jump and I'd get in the helicopter.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that was stupid, but I had a really good time. It
was awesome.
So like, I don't know. I always thought Battlefield been becoming progressively more goofy, and I'm trying to word this correctly. I'm okay with it taking itself less seriously in the vein of Bad Company, which I enjoyed, if it makes it for a more enjoyable, fun game. But I don't want more grit. I'm a little sick of grit at the moment. I don't want PUBG. I'd rather have Fortnite.
Yeah.
There's something I like Overwatch more than, I don't know what a dirty version of Team Fortress is, but I'm sure there's something out there. But like, I like things to be like clean and kind of cartoony. But I guess that could upset some people with the Battlefield franchise.
Related to a Battlefield game.
Yeah, now related to a game.
I had mixed feelings about Battlefield Hardline.
There we go. Now we're talking.
And
Yeah.
I think that works here.
All right.
Got it.
They had that one weird actor with that face who's in all the video games.
Oh,
He's also
Yes.
in LA Noire.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. He's
Yeah, I
that
do.
guy.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget his name.
They're like, let's
Sure.
scan his face in and put him in a game.
Just send the files over. All right, John, what do you think?
I actually, when I watched the trailer, all the goofy stuff didn't register. What did register was the non-stop action, and he wasn't stopping. He was going around doing all this different shit. And for me, I don't have a long history. There are gaps in my Battlefields, but the most recent was Battlefield 3, 4, and 1, where what I would do, it was my process. I would load it up. I'd get Spotify playlist going, playing black metal,
Yeah.
Historically accurate.
and I would go into the zone and just nonstop, never stopping, never taking cover, just fucking running like
Charge it.
a rabies victim.
yep.
Like 28 days later, zombie, just like nonstop. And never stopping, always doing new things, always moving. And that was what the trailer made me think of, so I was like, all right, like another thing to dive into and like never stop moving. And so when I watched the trailer, I didn't think like, oh, I didn't agree, basically. I saw all the things that I have gotten out of my Battlefield
Related to a
experience.
game.
Thank you, Bruce.
I would say Battlefield 4 because 1 almost felt a little more slowed down and it had a different pace, whereas 4, you're in a helicopter, you're doing all this fucking crazy shit, constantly
That
jumping
was
out
not
of a
the point,
jet,
though.
snipering.
I don't know what he's getting
The
at.
point was the game is inaccurate to Battlefield.
Oh, right, okay, naval strike.
There we go. Actually, yeah. I would personally, I think out of all these, that is the most valid and understandable thing.
I would agree.
Because that trailer looked bonkers.
Yeah.
What's really weird, and I think this is gonna really fuck them up later, is that but according to the Jack Frags video, this game was actually way slower.
Oh,
than
really?
Even a normal Battlefield.
Really?
Yeah. So
Even in 1? 1 was pretty slow.
So there's a couple of main mechanics that seem like they're going to really change how the game flows. One is that you don't heal to 100 if you take damage.
Oof.
You heal to a particular marker, so it's like 25, 50, 75. So if you get in a firefight, the next one you won't be coming back in full health. Also, you spawn with less ammo in general.
Am I crazy, or has Battlefield always been like that?
No, you can heal up to 100.
No, you can heal to 100.
If you hide, yeah.
If you just hide forever?
If you hide or you have a med pack.
You let all the blood in your eyes dry up?
Yeah.
Whatever's happening in that game.
And then other things are like there is no aura of healing or ammo regen anymore. So you used to throw it on a med pack and people would just stand next to it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
heal.
like a zoned.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Everything now is a manually triggered action. So you have to pick up a med pack, and there's an animation of you doing it.
Really?
Even revives, like revive, you can't just poke someone with a needle and pop them back out.
I
You
think about things.
You can drag corpses around now because all the corpses are server side.
Oh.
So you can drag dudes behind cover to revive them.
Cool.
As opposed to just being like, boop, and then
And
they're
they
like,
pop back up to get shot at a million times.
Well, that's great. That's really cool because it reduces the choke points. Where there would be a dude
rush
with
map.
like an
Metro?
M60 just
Die.
mowing people down in a running stab. He stands up and dies immediately.
Or do the
That
paddles.
feels so derpy. I love how derpy that game is.
I was just thinking back in the Battlefield 2
his ankle.
days. I remember, Battlefield 2 was the first one that did squads, right?
2? Yeah, but you couldn't
Yeah.
spawn on squad in 2, I don't think.
Oh, wait.
No, I think you're right.
3 had
Yeah.
3 was the first one I think you could spawn on your squad.
Okay. I think, wait, did you left one of these out.
Did I?
Because you have Battlefield Vietnam, but you don't have the Vietnam DLC that was in Bad Company 2.
There was Vietnam DLC, he's right.
I was getting those mixed up.
My bad.
No, it's okay.
What was the name of the Vietnam DLC?
Come on, Lauren.
Probably Battlefield Vietnam.
I think they were called the same thing. I think
Yeah.
that's why I might have left it out.
No, it's fine. I can actually see the confusion with Battlefield because one's come out every year, like I think for the last 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I just remember it was Battlefield 2. I'm not sure if it was Special Forces, but it's the first one that had the squad mechanic. And I was just in a Jeep buggy with a bunch of guys, and we drove past the battle. It was like brr, brr, everyone blowing up, and we drove off a cliff after a guy fired a rocket at us and like sent us flying. But we all ejected, and we're on the side of the building, and we're all just.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just like waited like 5-6 minutes, and they're like, all right, let's go. So then we all like climbed up, snuck behind the base, and was like, we took it.
Yeah.
Because
Nice.
and I was like, that should have never happened. But I don't know. It's weird. I've always just kind of equated Battlefield to being almost like an action movie.
Yeah, it always has really cool moments that you never would have expected.
Yeah.
Because they always show that stuff like in the trailer. Battlefield's the only trailer I would watch. The most recent one, Battlefield 5 trailer, when it was like, you slide under a fire, gun, plane, tank. And you see those in other trailers, and I'm always like, that shit's never going to happen. When I watched that trailer, I was like, that will definitely happen to me. That's probably going to happen,
Yeah.
where a plane will run into my head, and then a tank will explode.
Is that also just them trying to make sure Battlefield's relevant from a gameplay perspective? Because every game has sliding and shooting and ducking and like Destiny.
yeah, but you're not going to do any of that. You're going to dolphin dive the whole time.
I get.
It's interesting to bring that up. So they're already, I said that like you can shoot while doing anything. You cannot shoot while diving. That is the one thing you're not allowed to do. So
Damn.
they're trying to
Patched
prevent
out the
dolphin diving.
yeah.
Oh, dolphin diving is always
So there's
dumb.
like when you go to prone, there's a lag between when you'll be able to start
Gotcha.
shooting again.
There's always the most pathetic thing when you kill someone while you're dolphin diving.
Well, it's because you see two people doing it at each other and shooting at each other as they're doing it.
Just flopping around. It's like that one Resident Evil
It's
thing.
World War II. It's just fuck it.
All right, one more issue, and then we'll hear from a sponsor.
Oh wait, also was it 1942 where you can get on like a biplane
Oh, yeah.
and then you could stack
You'd line up a bunch of people on the plane as it would take off.
and you would just stay. There were no physics to move.
Yeah, so it would basically like you would roll with it,
Yeah.
but your little body would sometimes slide off the
chitter,
wing.
and then snap in.
And was it Battlefield 2, I think you could jump on each other's heads and stack indefinitely. It's always been derpy.
I know it is. It's great.
Sergeant Giraffe.
Those are the best ones. Oh man, those are
Long neck.
the best ones when people recut the Battlefield trailers to use actual in-game footage. And it's just the dude with the long neck.
It's like
Remember, was it the World War I where they recut it and there's like, the guy's like, it's 2 guys on a horse with like flamethrowers and a machine gun. And then the horse is like glitching in the rocks.
so good. The game is just, I just love it because that's what everybody was tweeting about all these issues where they're like, there's no women in World War II, I can't believe it. And then they would be like, yeah, you're right. Battlefield has always been historically accurate. And then they tweet that gif of 2 men on a horse with flamethrowers and machine guns as the horse is running down the road. So stupid.
God. They've got other problems to fix before
Yeah, I know.
you can even think about what gender you are.
All right, here's issue number 7. There's only one more after this, so make sure to pick out the good video game for this one. Battlefield 5 is pandering to modern sensibilities for more sales. And by that I mean not the like hypersaturation, the fact that it's super colorful and kind of cartoony, the Fortnite aesthetic, the building, the representation folds into that. The fact that it's I guess this notion that there is a gritty, more quote-unquote realistic Battlefield 5 game that would have been made if not for the howling of all sorts of liberal SGW types that are altering it and now changing the creative product.
Well, you also have in your
John
blog-
is seizuring and lost his hat.
That's fucking everything. That is all the time.
That's
everything.
There was
all the time.
bloom and like low saturation for 5 years, and I fucking hated it because everything looked like shit. Yeah. Everything started looking like Fallout 3, where it was all just gray and nothing. That's just how trends work. That's just how society works. You fucking nerds.
Man, you're a nerd.
John's a bruiser.
Yeah, John's on
He's
fire.
smashing
You
it.
dropped your top
Sorry,
hat.
my top hat fell off, so I got a little less uncouth.
No, there's
Your gun's showing.
Are you wearing that to the movies tonight?
No.
tuck it back in.
Oh,
Make sure he doesn't wear that gun, please.
Yeah, not outside.
kind of want him to.
They wouldn't even let me bring. I bought a plastic bow for Tomb Raider, and they made me leave it outside with a suction cup on the end.
Did you have to like stash it in a bush somewhere and hope?
I just leaned it up against the wall.
No one
I
took it?
said, "Here you go,
You
Mr.
won.
Homeless
You
person."
won the contest, though.
Yeah. What'd you get for that?
I
bottle?
got some Beats X, some Bluetooth Beats headphones.
I think we looked at it and they retailed for like $50, which
That's
is
not
not bad. Like, all right.
For when
Do you use them?
Yeah, I use them all the time. They announced like an iPad. They listed like 10 different prizes, but then no one showed up for the costume contest except me and 3 women. So
And you won?
Well,
I won.
2 women and a small girl.
No, 1 woman and 2 small girls. They all just happen to wear ponytails.
I like that feminist action hero icon Lara Croft. Actual women lost to a man dressed up as a woman.
I guess it's
the
whatever
premiere.
he chose to identify at
Yeah.
that point in time when he wanted to win some Dre beats.
Oh, jeez.
So when it comes to this argument, it occurs to me that on a super superficial level, I get it. Like, I'm a white dude. It's pretty cool actually having every video game be about me. But it's like there are people who think that after 20 years of every video game starring a white dude, that's like how all games would be. However, they were that way for 20 years because they were targeting you.
Yeah.
And they were targeting me, and it felt pretty cool because I felt needed.
Now they're targeting
Now they're targeting
else.
everybody. And some people think that like, oh, it's because they're yelling and getting your attention without acknowledging that the last 20 years has been the same thing. It's just that the light was shining on you instead. So it's not that things are changing now, it's just that the beam is starting to widen out a bit. It's not laser focused directly on single white male.
Which is weird because I like playing. Every time I load into any video game and I get to choose a character, I pick a woman. Every
Always.
single time.
Why is
Always.
that?
Because I don't play as a woman normally. So I'm always like, oh, I wonder what, and then like I usually get to look at the back of the woman as she's walking around. And I'm like, I love butts.
All right.
So I'm like, I like check that out, right? That too.
I'll throw this out there.
Started out positive.
Well, yeah, but it also still is positive.
Yeah,
Because I love the female form. What's wrong
It's
with
okay
that?
to love Metal Gear Solid 5 was easy on the eyes because old Snake, he's got a pretty nice lower half. It's downstairs, pretty good.
Very prominent butt action from
Thick
Metal Gear
thighs from
Solid
that boy.
2 forward.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Even Phantom Pain was like ultimate squat form.
See, but I like playing as like things that I am not normally. just because I think it gives me a little variety in my life. Versus, why would I ever just pick, like? That's why I actually hated the Xbox avatars. It was like, design your character to look like you, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I look at myself every day. I want to design it to make it look like some crazy person, like John Smith.
It's like all the uninventive people in Ready Player One. Like, you can be anything. It's like, I want to be Anime Man.
Oh yeah.
I want to be Bug Lady Eyes.
Yeah.
Really?
Me, but with a streak in my hair,
Yeah.
and also a little more ripped.
Oh, I want to be Goro. That's fair. You could be Goro, kid.
All right, I'll relate this to a Battlefield
Yeah,
game.
please do. It's very important.
So the thought is the game is pandering to modern sensibilities for more sales. I think that's totally fine. And also, they tweeted out, I told Lawrence this actually earlier, they tweeted over the weekend, I think it was, Battlefield did, that there are no loot boxes and no premium pass, which I think is awesome. I think that's so cool that they're doing that.
Is that pandering? Is it so cool?
I mean,
that-
isn't there still going to be currency?
Probably,
Like,
but I'm totally fine with the fact that they are pandering to that. And I actually think it's a very positive thing that they're pandering to that.
Well, didn't Europe make it illegal, like say that it's gambling or something? Like
They're getting
some
close.
countries, and I think that's kind of the way that it's moving.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you.
No. So I think that's great. So I also think Battlefield 1 was great. I thought that game was fucking awesome, and I didn't play it enough, actually.
Play
I'll
a
play
little
with
this
you.
weekend.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I'll play it.
It's real fun.
Yeah.
I like the squad games. Those are fun.
Provided you're in a squad with people you can talk to.
That was always the argument. I always saw
Everyone's
people.
playing deathmatch. Is just
This was back when like FPS Russia was a relevant YouTube channel, but like I remember seeing the argument. I'm just trying to date it of like when it was a thing, but like that was like Modern Warfare 2 was a thing, and there's always these arguments of like Battlefield sucks, Call of Duty's better,
Oh, yeah.
Call of Duty's fast. I'm actually doing the voice of the guy of the video. I remember seeing he's like Battlefield, you run around for 30 minutes, you get shot and you die. I'm like, well, yeah, if you're not in a squad, why am I talking to you? Like, yeah, I'm like, it's a different kind of game, man, and like it's cool when you play with a squad. Like, I think it was Battlefield 3 or 4. Like that was some of the greatest moments
played all
we'd
the
have.
time. Yeah.
Because it'd be like, I'm a scout, I have the SOFLAM, and now your rockets will lock on better, and we could take out jets, and like, it
was cool.
It was cool, like working together as a
Played the
squad.
game the way it was intended to be played.
Yeah, exactly. Like not playing it like a Call of Duty, which I hate pandering. So close quarters.
all right. The close quarters of opinions.
When they wanted it just to be Call of Duty, but I actually really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I was like kind of better
because I
than
was the
Call
kind
of
of
Duty.
person who was like, I just want to grind out all these guns, so it's quick if I just shoot people.
Cool. John.
Just side thing. If you guys want some dope ass Battlefield videos, Jack Frags does. I think it's called Squad or Squad Up, where it's him, Level Cap Gaming, Mattimio, and another person. They're all really good, and they all have the tactical knowledge, and so they're using all the correct lingo and stuff, and like just wrecking house in Battlefield games. So check them out.
Who's the other guy? Praying Mantis or something like that?
I don't know.
He's the dude
Stone Mountain.
No, it's something Mantis. A flying Mantis, maybe? I don't know, but he does all. You've probably seen the helicopter gif where he blows a hole in the building, flies through it, strafes through, and then
yeah.
flies out of another hole. It's like, motherfucker.
it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what game is it?
What was the question?
How do you
The pandering to
How do you-
modern
yeah, you-
trends.
you rate the idea that tailoring your game aesthetically to match modern trends is a negative?
Or positive.
Well, the opinion is that I don't like it
yes.
because of this.
Yes, you're correct.
Uh,
Pick a Battlefield,
just pick
anyone.
Battlefield 2142.
Great. I mean, that was a pandery one.
Because that was because the point you made earlier that it was because sci-fi was in, so they made sci-fi.
Didn't that have Titan mode or something?
Yeah.
That was the thing that like
being robots, mech suits.
This always happens with Battlefield games, by the way. They always explain it, and it sounds like the coolest thing in the world. Except for War Pigeons. That was confusing.
Yeah, War Pigeons.
War Pigeons is a game where this happens. And it's like, does it work? Because, like, yeah, Titan mode was, like, so complicated. Like, first you get in the pod, and then the pod shoots you, and then you land, and then it's like, well, what if one part doesn't work? Well, It's gotta work.
It has to.
Otherwise, the game mode doesn't work.
Titans was like tribes where you had to go into a base.
Yeah.
You had to like
To blow up their ship.
blow up the generator, then blow up
Yeah.
another generator, then power up some other part of it.
Yeah.
Then make sure to get into the co-pilot seat and then get into the cockpit. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, you would shoot these like ICBMs at these floating fortresses, but you had to have their shields down, so you had to coordinate it so that you captured the missile silo at the same time the shields.
It was so stupid.
Wow.
I get it. Like I get what they were going for, but man,
It was hard.
you know it's not hard. Saving your hair. This podcast sponsored by Hims. We got one more hot issue after this, but first, the hottest issue of all: retaining your glorious, youthful, luscious hair. Just waves of it, but maybe not forever. Maybe not. Hims is an online telemedicine service that connects you with real doctors to get medical grade solutions for hair loss. I've used it, and I'm using it now because, man, maybe it's just my imagination, but I am like by the numbers getting older, and I was always trying to look for that first signal that things were going wrong. Maybe having to go to physical therapy was the first one, but I feel like I fucked myself up appropriately enough to earn that. But I have been looking in the mirror, like kind of checking out the hairline, and either random hairs are growing down on my forehead more, or my actual hairline is going back. And I think it's the latter because that's typically how time works.
I also noticed.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So I was like, well, that's it then. I guess I also was always promised myself that I would fight aging in every possible way, not to the tune of like body spray, but maybe body spray. Or more it's like I want to be conscious about my body and like get screenings and if there's something that I can do to make myself healthier or increase the quality of my life through the power of science, I'll do it. And this is probably the first time I've actually done that. So I use the Hims service. They connect me with the doctor. They're like, okay, give us pictures of your hairline from all these angles. I took those, sent them in. Some of them were like blurry, so they requested retakes basically, like we need a side, we need a back. Sent those again. The doctor's like, yeah, you got a thinning hairline, 1 milligram finasteride, which is the generic equivalent of Propecia, which treats an enlarged prostate, but also treats hair loss. So I guess 2 birds, 1 stone, hopefully. And it comes in a box with like side effects all on a card, instructions and all that stuff. We'll list all the side effects in the description of this show too, because you know when you're dealing with a prescription drug, you got to take that a little seriously.
Yep.
And we've had viewers express discomfort at the idea that we're asking viewers to circumvent their normal doctor. It's not what we're doing at all. You can actually use Hims in concert with your normal doctor. We would always recommend that for anything you do involving changing your diet or your fitness plan and putting drugs in your body, you should probably talk with your doctor about that if you have a relationship with a doctor you trust. And if they give you a prescription too, or they give you advice that this is a healthy thing to do, you can transfer that prescription to Hims and just have it filled through the internet. You don't have to go to a pharmacy or something like that. So even if you're not comfortable with using the doctors that Hims can connect you with, you can use your own and then just use it as a way to fill your prescription online. So you can get a trial month of Hims for $5 while supplies last. You need to see the website for full details, and it's pending the actual prescription going through and all sorts of things. But you can do that at forhims.com/dude for 1 month trial for $5. That's forhims.com/dude for the 1 month trial. So thank you, Hims. Again, we wouldn't recommend that anyone do anything that makes them uncomfortable with their body, of course. So talk about it with your doctor or the doctor that Hims supplies. But yeah, give it a try. I think that's what I'm on. That's what I'm on until I die now. So.
Until you die, huh?
Well, yeah, it's interesting. So the way it's set up, and I'll admit it sounds sketchy, is they're like, well, it prevents hair loss. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, it's like,
on
how
to
would
what
you
you
know?
got.
Except they've done clinical trials in which one group that was taking it demonstrated way less hair loss than other groups that didn't take it. So it's been medically proven to work. However, you as an individual, when they're like, you better keep taking this, your hair is going to fall out. You're like, well, how am I going to know? You might just be lying to me. But there is medical science behind it. So
So it's preventative.
it is preventative.
It's not a cure.
So it's kind of pitched as both. They say that some hair regrowth, but primarily to retain what you have.
Oh,
You know, John puts dog cum on his hair to make sure
Yeah.
he doesn't lose it.
Smart.
Every day.
That's great.
different dogs.
Every day from different dogs.
What's the thought process there when people go, I'm going to eat the placenta?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's homeopathy, man.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, but what's
tradition.
It's like the dude who ate the
Old ways
alien
are the
arms
best
in District
ways.
9. He's like, it's so weird, it's gotta work. Right? Is that this thing?
They
Like,
can absorb the
Alien. What?
Remember in District 9, the dude's like eating pieces of the alien because he think it'll make him better.
Yeah.
Oh.
He wants to become.
But he was like in a
alien.
wheelchair.
Hey, human beings are superstitious, man.
I don't remember.
Don't remember District 9?
I remember District 9. I don't remember that one specific scene.
That's like the main scene.
Main.
Touching feet.
What I'm
right.
wearing are shoes.
What's this last issue?
This is probably the most subjective one. No, I think probably officially it is the most subjective one. So it's going to be real hard to equate a Battlefield game to it. Battlefield 5 no longer feels authentic to World War II, and that's a different word than realistic. There's actually been a lot of discussion about the relative meanings of both those words, because people say, oh, it's not realistic anymore. Everyone countered with, it was never realistic, open your fucking eyes. And then they were like, the other side, as much as it's been a battle of sides, said, well, hold on now, I didn't mean that. I meant Battlefield always had authentic weaponry, authentic locations, and authenticity in the way that it was just a bunch of Europeans and Germans shooting at each other.
Right.
Now it's women, people of color, katanas, cricket ball bats with barbed wire. Like it's getting too many steps away from something that could even be passably equated to World War II. And that's the thing that I liked. And this departure is feels too different to me to call this Battlefield. And furthermore, it is kind of a bummer to me to see something that used to have a passing resemblance to a real thing now just goes so far off the rails to be so cartoonish.
It feels like we're sort of a stalemate right now with video games. Like I feel like graphically they're not getting much better looking. They look great. Like I've seen some of the Detroit Become Human thing or whatever. What was that called?
Yeah, that's what you got it.
Yeah. Like
I started playing that.
I don't know if you've seen some of those. Like some of those GIFs. And I
It's
was like,
impressive.
yeah.
Like,
whoa, that looks really good. But it's this gradual slide, and the next step is like the stuff that I think they're doing with VR, when it takes that next step forward where like the graphics are down. Like Battlefield 1 is gorgeous, but also Battlefield 4 was gorgeous, and even before that, Battlefield 3 was amazingly.
Yeah, it was.
Not so much the one you've been playing, because that was the Xbox
Whoa.
360 version.
Oh, that was okay.
Until it looks like this.
Yeah, I'll move up to 4. Might still be Xbox.
It's still Xbox, yeah. But still, I'm just saying, the games artistically haven't changed much. They still have those like lens flares, and you can get the micro sort of adjustments where it's like, okay, get a PS4 Pro or get it on PC, and then buy another $1,600 video card because Bitcoin's ruining everything. And then like the game could only look so good and you can hit so much frame rate, so that I think at some point game developers are just trying to find that hook, because it's no longer about the visuals. I don't think that's sort of where my mind's at, where they're like, we've reached maximum capacity with visuals. So what else can we do? Well, now we got to get artistic with it, and we got to do things that stand out. So we need to have a dude with war paint on him, and we need a woman with a robot arm, and all these things. Like this is how I know it's working, is because we're talking about it, and everyone's still talking about it. And regardless if it makes you happy or mad or whatever, they've done their job. The marketing team is probably begrudgingly high-fiving one another, but they're like, a week later, people are still talking about it. It's got 4 white dudes. One of them has a top hat.
Well, hopefully it sells copies.
I'm not white.
Because like Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a good example of people talking about transactions, and that deterred me from playing the game. I was like, I didn't buy it.
That's a good point.
So I waited months to buy that game.
Yeah, I guess it remains to see how much this. I don't know, because the last Battlefield was good, and
It
then
was.
I think what happened with Battlefront was first Battlefront wasn't great.
It was okay.
It was okay.
It's confusing, man.
It was.
You want to get like Star Wars fans in there, and now it's like, well, you have to pick one of these stupid robots to play as, but you can't be that robot, not yet. Now you can't. Oh wait, no, somebody else is that robot. You can't be that robot anymore.
It feels
And
right.
it's like, it's not even a special robot. It's just a robot with a gun. And then they're like, well, do you want to throw a grenade? You don't have those yet. You got to get a grenade. This is 1-star grenade. That guy has a 3-star grenade though. It's like, how do I get a 3-star grenade? I don't know.
Like, I want to be
Open up
Luke.
packs.
You can't be Luke. That guy got the coin first.
Yeah. So the casual experience in Battlefront was confusing as fuck.
I think it could be simplified. I agree.
That was my little rant.
So
I don't know why I did that.
and also I don't care if Battlefield sells well or not, because I am not an investor in EA. So its success does not trigger me in the slightest. Similar to, like, I guess, people with Han Solo, of like, I saw an article where, like, people need to settle down about this, how little money it made. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is not going anywhere. It comes down to, are you entertained as an individual? Do you find this
You're
entertaining?
not entertained.
I don't know yet. We'll find out.
Beverly Hills Cop 3.
We'll probably find out at E3, right?
Great movie.
We'll probably play it there.
I would imagine.
We'll at least
Hope
see
so.
it.
We'll see it.
We'll watch somebody play it.
I mean, it's got to be EA Plays thing. They're gonna have 64 people on stage playing it.
That's
they do
true.
that. They did that for the last couple of battles.
Snoop.
Snoop Dogg.
Who's that YouTuber? They call it. And
What
then
if they added
Jack's
Snoop
there?
Dogg to Battlefield?
Oh shit!
As a
That
hero
would be
unit.
awesome.
You can take the field to Snoop Dogg. It's like Thanos, but you bomb in, you dab, you smoke a.
Yeah, you hit a
Does
bomb.
Does he die?
He does now. Battlefield's gonna pay for it.
Battlefield's gonna pay for Snoop to dab.
What Battlefield game is that? I mean, he dabs already, but it's the
What
other
was
kind.
the concern again?
It no longer feels authentic.
Does Battlefield 5 feel
Okay.
authentically Battlefield to you?
I never. Let's see. I realized Battlefield wasn't authentic when I played Battlefield 3, and my character had a giraffe neck,
There you go.
and
Dun, dun, dun,
and that
dun, dun.
that's I give it a Battlefield 3 because I think it'll be probably about as good as that.
That didn't occur to me until like 2 years ago. Because Battlefield 3, it had that overdriven theme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It took me it wasn't until like a year ago that I was like, oh shit, that's just the horn section from 1942,
Yeah.
but in
Oh,
like
yeah.
Skrillex bass.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't click in. I was like, oh, that's
I
a
guess
stupid theme.
well, I don't know what it sounded like for 2142. Maybe it was like a should have been like
No,
No,
was it.
I looked it
should
up.
sound like
It's,
Transformers. or
it's
something.
really boring. It's not
Oh,
nearly
really?
like you'd expect to be like synth and shit. It's not.
I want to sound like Optimus Prime.
It should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
John, how do you feel about people being mad at the trailer for not being authentically Battlefield enough?
I hear you. I think though that we're
he's
kind
on
of
the PR
reaching
tour
a
now.
point in video games where a lot of stuff has been done more than once. There are many World War II video games that are somewhat authentic to the experience. And so maybe this company that's made, what is that, 16 Battlefield games already.
One's missing.
Doesn't
Probably
want-
another one.
Yeah, that doesn't want to just make the same thing again. So maybe they want to mix it up. And I'm sorry to those who wanted something authentic. It's not going to be authentic.
Why are you apologizing for EA?
Related to a game.
Yeah. What game is it?
Dead Space.
That'd be cool.
I'm going to say Plants vs. Zombies.
All right.
It's not even a Battlefield game.
Was there Hardline DLC?
Yes.
Yes.
There was.
That's not in there. Ouch. All right, Bruce. How do you feel about Battlefield 5's authenticity?
To the point that Battlefield 5 no longer feels authentic. That's what people said on the internet. I also, let's see here, no longer feels authentic. This point makes me feel like they weren't paying attention, much like I wasn't paying attention to Battlefield 1943.
Wow. Nice job. Yeah, I think I
I
played
think that was
one.
console only.
I tried to, yeah, because I was going to play it, and then I found out it was console only. I was like, what? Console only?
Man, they should have made like Battlefield 1947, where you're that one lone Japanese man in the forest.
Like, yeah, a prisoner
just
of war.
waiting.
No one told you the war ended?
He's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy. No one told the war is over.
It's a very long
That's right.
war.
They had to actually bring his commanding officer. They had to fly him to the island.
Really?
Yeah. And his commanding officer, I think, put on his old uniform that had been in a closet for 30 years and was like, you can stand down now.
And then he talked about how he met the Wolverine at a young age and like put him in a well. Did anyone see Wolverine?
Nope.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool.
Good reference.
That's a good reference.
Solid
yeah.
reference, everybody.
That's one of my favorite things to end a conversation. It's good reference.
Yeah.
I guess for me, wait. I haven't been doing these.
There's some hardline DLC. that you
2142
probably missed.
Northern Strike. There we go. Because that was probably to me a DLC for a Battlefield game that didn't look or feel like Battlefield.
Yeah, that's true.
Is to me the furthest away from Battlefield you can possibly get.
Aw. I appreciate. You gotta appreciate the effort, though, right?
Oh, of course,
Like-
no fault to it. I just didn't
Yeah.
play it because it didn't interest me.
How clever, right? 1942. What about 2142?
Oh my God, I just got it. I didn't realize.
You know, the music was just like they just turned the distortion up, and it's the same thing. So what the thing that blows my mind, and this is to me what I give the most credit for people being pissed at the gameplay reveal. It's ridiculous and amazing. Looks technologically amazing. Looks intense. but the way that Jack Frags describes the actual gameplay is the most opposite of that trailer. So that trailer was nonstop action, shit going crazy all over the place. The gameplay that Jack Frags talks about is super slow, like more tactical than ever. So, but I get how that doesn't make for a great gameplay reveal.
Yeah, I mean, Battlefield's always been slow. That's sort of
Slower than Call of Duty.
It's more like an American football match, right? There's moments of action,
Yeah,
and then there's
bursts of activity,
and then there's a lull in between. But like those moments are what people love. Like, and when the moments are good, they're great.
Yeah,
And when your team's actually working together, it's really entertaining. It's a lot of fun.
When I
did it. I picked Super Bowl 29, my favorite Super Bowl.
I think
the Dallas Raiders fought the Seagulls.
That's right.
that's it.
Got it.
The East Coast Seagulls. To me, I start to appreciate the promotion campaign when I think about it in those terms. Is that if this is a slower, more tactical Battlefield, they can't lead with that because that's boring. Like nobody cares about that except the people who played the series a long time. They want to net everyone. Then they show the ridiculous thing.
Exactly.
Just tanks blowing through houses. And
Someone's gonna make that trailer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be glitchy. It's gonna be silly. It always happens. I don't know.
It reminds me of when Fallout 4 to me was a really amazing promotional campaign because they launched with 2 trailers. The like somber, this is an epic sweeping art game, live
War
in the
never
dystopian
changes.
chaos. Yeah, exactly. And then they had the other one, which had goofy music and teddy bear bombs. So it was like, okay, here are the 2 aspects you associate with Fallout. So we're going to talk to both of you and say, yes, this game will give you what you want. For this, they released the 1 trailer and then a really long live stream of developers talking about the gameplay mechanics. So I think they were trying to do both as well, but they showed the gameplay and it was so amped up.
Yeah.
That I think people that were already educated about Battlefield and wanted a somber, slower, tactical experience were, I think, pretty justified in being concerned. They're like, oh shit, they're throwing all that out the window. They're just making it COD. So I get people being upset on that level. It is just a bummer that the information from the Jack Frags video didn't find their way to those people earlier, because I think it would totally.
That's a terrible way of, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird to release a trailer that's not true to what the product you're trying to sell is, and then this is sort of like people complaining about, like, I didn't get everything in Halo. It's like, well, you should have read the books. Like, no, it should have been in the game.
You should have read the book.
Yeah, maybe don't make me do homework for your entertainment property.
Yeah.
That reminds me, and maybe somebody else, well, maybe one of you guys or even Omar can point me to this. I want an annotated guide to read or listen to while I'm playing Dark Souls.
Oh.
I basically want
a good idea.
someone to point out stuff and be like, that's there because of that, that's there because of that. Not in an annoying way.
That's a $1 million idea. Like, have someone make an app.
Yeah. Or like the way that Valve did it.
did
the little-
exist.
Oh, the little
Remember?
floaty things.
The Machinima app on Xbox
That's right.
had the second screen experience.
You go. What is it? Hey Xbox. Or how do you?
You had
what is
Machinima
that?
was the voice command. Machinima search Battlefield 5 level back to Karkand or whatever, and then it would fuck it all up.
Well, you go Xbox Machinima app.
Yeah.
And then you'd go Dark Souls lore here, and then it'd be Bruce in like a tank top, like, yo, what's up? I see you're stuck on Mass Effect.
It's your pal Brucey Blazy 2005.
No, it's this Dark Souls Machinima app.
Yeah.
You want to figure out how to fuck Ashley, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's get some of that space tang.
We had Mountain Dew yet? Uh-oh, we're being sued.
Yeah, supposedly that app was supposed to tell you, as you were playing the game, it's supposed to like clue you into things that were happening in the game. As your second screen work is the snap bar. Remember Snap? Xbox Snap Machinima
man.
app.
Oh my God.
Mass Effect
hardest
level
thing to
3.
say. Well, they wanted you to put that phrasing in video so people would say it, right?
Xbox Machinima.
No, but you had to say snap.
Snap Machinima app. Oh my gosh.
X-Snap Machinima app.
Kraken's Dark Souls gameplay basically had someone who was the fault guide. Fuck! I need a fault guide. King QWERTY. Sorry, I'm just reading chat. Need it. And yeah, that person also has to be open to being mocked endlessly when they're telling you about the Raven Lords and the Blightlands or
But
whatever.
I know you're talking about the.
But I want to know that.
The Valve, the Valve 2.
Yeah.
Or the Valve Gabe Newell. Hi, I'm Gabe N, and here's my level.
Like a tour guide.
I want some basement dork to walk me through that game because I played all 3 of them now. And going back to Dark Souls 1, I'm like, actually, some of the stuff's starting to click in. Like,
Welcome to Blight Town.
Yeah.
Town of Blight.
hello, stranger.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Yep, you
keep
died.
Blighttown is here because this used to be farming, but then the Lord of Pestilence swept through because the Lord of Light had sex with his daughter and made
Water
a bastard
kills
child.
you.
Oh man.
Water's bad.
Son choked on some grains of rice, therefore he cursed all rice to turn into poison clouds, and that's why there's poison in this level. That's what I want.
I watched was like a Bloodborne like lore video, and it's like 2 hours long. I got like half an hour through. It was just like I downloaded on my phone, did the YouTube Red thing. I was watching it, and he's like, "This person did this," and blah blah. I'm wondering if the Japanese game developer's like, not even close.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, dude. Or he's like, yeah, that's what we meant. You got it.
Yeah.
Nail on the head,
Boy,
man.
you grasped our genius. Well, if you're going to take that idea and run with it, please make a website for it with Squarespace and send it to me.
Great idea.
Squarespace gives you great tools to make your Dark Souls lore guide. Or, throw this out there again, graduation season. If you need to make a reel or like a portfolio, website's a great way to do that, and much, much easier than paper or physical media. Handing someone a CD, they're just going to snap in half. They don't want your Russian viruses all on their computer. Your Bitcoin mining software, yeah, right. But if you have a website with like screenshots, depending on what you're working on, or videos, if you're into programming, things like that, you can put your builds on your website, all that stuff. Squarespace has a variety of templates to match whatever you want to do. And I'm going to read you those right now because I love the idea that these templates are named. 2018 has 8 new templates. Nice. They are Stella, Pursuit, Impact, Blend, Pedro, Royce, Kin, and Val. I'm a Blend man. That's a good template right there. Adam, you strike me as a Pursuit sort of fella.
Yeah, I'm kind of anti-impact at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Overused font.
Definitely an overused font. Very, very heavy in the image macro
Default
game.
font. That's what happens with default fonts, man.
Yeah, if you're lame.
They're also launching a bunch of shop tools. So let's say you're a graphic designer or something like that. You want to sell shirts, stickers, buttons. They have a whole raft of tools that you can just bolt onto your website, and then you don't have to worry about setting it all up or keeping people's credit card information and all that. Are you ready to start your new business? Make it. Get started with Squarespace, and we have a discount code for you. You can get 10% off your first purchase at squarespace.com/dudesoup. So whether you're a student looking to market your abilities to potential new hires or just find a way to sell all those perler beads you got stacking up around the apartment, this is a great way to start. That's squarespace.com/dudesoup. Just customize a template, bolt some store add-ons on, and you're ready to make your internet millions. So thank you, Squarespace, for the sponsorship, and hopefully all you fresh aspiring students get work so you can start paying off the student loan debt.
Man, it's gotten so easy. Remember Dreamweaver? You remember
Yeah.
the website
I
Dreamweaver?
use Dreamweaver all the time.
Oh my god.
Garbage.
But you know what's not garbage? The best video game that is yet to be released.
Battlefield.
Omar, it's
5?
time for Cyberwatch. Yeah!
Omar already knew.
He knew.
Oh, I've used that.
Yeah. Stock footage.
Yeah,
Omar
that's
fell
so
asleep on
good.
a
There's
Switch.
if you search VR on video blocks, it's just all these different scenarios of people wearing a VR thing talking to someone else.
That doesn't make any sense at
Yeah.
No, they're VR. They're totally in VR. It's great. Just all black. All right. Let me throw this cracking headline up there because the news train just doesn't stop.
Remember, guys, everybody forgets this is about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, it's about Cyberpunk 2077.
the video game. Cyberwatch does not explain that it is actually about Cyberpunk 2077, the video game.
I mean, I think it's assumed. Everyone knows.
Nope, nobody knows that. That's why I always have to say it.
All right.
I guess everyone just sat through the whole hour of Battlefield because they were waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Those poor souls. You can skip.
No.
It's fast.
I'm excited for it, Lawrence.
Thank you, John. Everyone's excited
Excited
for
for
Cyberpunk.
what?
For the game that's about to
Cyberpunk.
release.
What game?
Cyberpunk 2077.
There is no game.
Have you ever played Witcher? It's that, but in the future.
He's got it. This
I
guy
don't
gets
know
it.
that.
I can drink neon liquor.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
These are all promises. Go buy a $27,000 spaceship from Star Citizen.
Oh yeah, there's that.
You
too.
crazy people.
That
No,
is insane.
Save your money for Cyberpunk. Save your $2077.
I'm sure it'll be good.
Get to the news.
It's gonna be the best. All right, they just had an investment call. Every quarter, it's like rain, manna from heaven. All the headlines just dribbling on down, right into my mouth. All right. CD Projekt Red CEO Adam Kaczynski. I don't know how to pronounce that
He
name.
went full screen on the webpage.
And CFO Peter Nilu. Oh boy,
Oh my gosh.
Bowicz.
Brush
You
up
can
on
do
your
it.
Poland.
Yeah, sorry, my
Poland?
Polish is
You're
kind of
Polish.
rusty. Quote, we have high hopes when it comes to that title. Talking about Cyberpunk. Continuing. The marketing campaign, will surely be more expensive than in the case of Witcher 3, but it is too early to discuss the details. The closer we are to the premiere, the more precise our expectations become, and then we will know more or less how much we want to spend on promotion. This is the standard in the business. There you go, folks. You got it right there. Ironclad headline. They're going to spend more on promotion for Cyberpunk 2077 than they did on The Witcher 3.
How do you keep finding these news
Booyah.
articles?
I feel like it doesn't need it.
Locked it in.
Because of The Witcher 3.
Everyone knows. Oh, well, I was going to say everyone knows about Cyberpunk.
They need to be educated on that these are two different franchises. Who cares?
Nobody
Well,
cares.
Witcher 3 was such like a critical acclaim that I feel like everyone's going to buy Cyberpunk
they will.
2077.
Yeah, they will.
It's going to be a successful game.
Exactly.
We're all going to love it.
Really fun.
I'm not sure about that.
Fantasy's kind of hot right now because like Game of Thrones.
Not when Cyberpunk comes
Also,
out.
it was the third Witcher.
Yes.
This is the first Cyberpunk 2077.
I think
Well, we've all been there,
There
though.
actually might be a rude
know.
awakening here when people go, "Oh yeah, Blade Runner didn't do so great." I mean, I think it did fine
If it had
for
come
what
out
it
after
was.
Cyberpunk.
It didn't do fine. The movie
you know
studio said
why-
it was a failure.
You know why it didn't do
Yes.
fine?
No.
Because you couldn't be there.
I went and saw it twice.
But why? No, I'm saying it didn't do
this
fine
guy.
because you
Listen to this
couldn't
guy.
be there.
Yeah, you couldn't
You
be in it.
couldn't touch joy.
No, you can't even if you're.
What are you talking
That
about?
was kind of a plot point.
Is Joy the woman?
Yeah. Joy's the hologram woman.
I'm looking up how
Anna
much
de
I made.
Armas.
So John's right. This game will revolutionize pop culture and society as we know it, because we'll finally understand what living the perfect life is once we're sitting there playing Cyberpunk 2077. Probably about a week from now. That's what I get.
week?
Yeah, next week.
Oh, and E3.
So
Yeah, next Dude Soup. We're all going to be playing Cyberpunk.
2049 costs $150 million.
Blade Runner.
2049, yes. Worldwide, it made $259 million.
That's a failure.
It's
That is absolutely
How
a failure.
much did
What a-
Denis
what a sad world it
It
is.
is. I agree. It's a great movie.
Make?
Way too long.
he got 2 Dune movies out of it.
Hell yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
success.
Movies, Blade Runner 25 is way too long.
Well,
Way too long.
Cyberpunk is going to be like 500 hours.
I want
so.
it to be longer.
Dune
that out.
sucks.
You're the only person in the world. Even Ridley Scott wanted the movie shorter. He said the movie was too long.
Well, because he's gonna die soon. Speaking of which, I want to watch this Kingdom of Heaven director's cut.
Dude.
Heard it's good.
That's an ordeal. Well, like most really long Ridley Scott movies, you'll have to watch it a couple times. There's so much like mumbled dialogue and
yeah.
like a glance means everything in any given scene. There's shit like political ramifications about, well, if this guy dies, then by the inheritance rights of that time, then this person would inherit the land. Therefore, this person is angry at that person. Like none of that shit's explained. You just have to kind of watch the movie a million. It's very Blade Runner.
I'm sure Cyberpunk won't have any of these issues.
I hope it does because I want to replay it 18 times.
They also confirmed War of Blood.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that is.
The vampires?
So let's see here. Thronebreaker is the single-player version of Gwent. I don't know what War of Blood is. I tried looking that up. That might also be a translation
face.
quirk.
Have you read
Cool.
Neomancer?
Shut
Yes,
up.
yes. I am ready to punch deck.
Is that the same guy who wrote Snow Crash?
William Gibson.
No, that's Neil Stevens is an actual author. Not this neomancer bullshit.
Neomancer is one of the most
Neuromancer,
critically
not Neo.
acclaimed.
It invented Cyberpunk. William Gibson is a visionary, and he wrote the Bible.
It's okay, wait. And then Neil Stevenson. Wait.
He wrote Kurtanomicon, Snow Crash.
Okay.
There's like those other larger books that
Listen,
sold
you
millions
should
and millions of copies.
Listen to Snow Crash, the audiobook, if you get a chance, where the very, very Caucasian reader does a Japanese man doing a rap.
Oh no!
No, oh no, oh, it gets bad. Maybe you can find
no.
it. It's, I don't know if you can find that clip. It's, Omar, let me know if you get on.
We're gonna
it.
do hardnet 3:45.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up.
Jeez.
Oh shit, sorry. I
right,
know it
listen,
wins.
we started
White
a
guy
smidge late,
reading Japanese guy rapping in Snow Crash audiobook.
Yeah, you're right. So okay, hard netting. Time to net hard. Play that. Here. It's kind of similar to Cyberpunk.
It is exactly the same.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, crossfades don't work super
that
good
new?
with matting.
No.
Somewhat.
Yeah, you
Been
need to
around
start.
for a
You need
while.
to do transitions. You got to get like a wipe. Like,
We have wipes.
Oh, Hell at Midnight.
Yeah, but I don't. OBS has wipes. I don't know if that.
A Forgotten Dogs roleplay.
This is
Yeah.
amazing, John. You'd love it.
John, you might be the only person who's not familiar.
You would love it, John.
So this is on the Backyard Chickens forum.
I'm very familiar.
People wrote up a list of social rules about roleplay of being a pet in a pack of coyotes.
Is this
if
a
you will.
farming forum?
That's backyard chickening. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I would say so.
I don't know if that means.
So yeah, there's all kinds of elements
want
you can
chickens
get.
in your backyard.
You can be an
I could
alpha,
do
an
that.
omega.
That's true, you could.
You can be a hunter, a bell, a pup.
How many pages are we
sorry, I
at
spit
now?
on you a
You
little bit.
really spit
I
on me
was
when you said
told
this pup.
by my roommate that I'm a
Pup.
cub.
How many pages are we at for the thread?
Sorry, all this RPG is making my mouth water.
1,100.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
9 active.
The story-
It's just two people role playing back and
The
forth.
story's still going.
May 17th. So
Slate
yeah.
thought for a moment. He absently watched Kestrel, who for once was relaxing a little bit and eating a tree, when suddenly Slate thought of Eon's buried tutu. Slate felt sorrow quiver through him. It was confusing. He wasn't used to not having a purpose, and he hated it.
Cool.
Quietly,
Gotcha. All right.
he slipped over to Kestrel. Good looking tree you got there,
You're not
he
allowed to use
said.
that voice when you're wearing a top hat. Actually, yeah, no, it's even better.
Picard.
All right, this, and it's going to go up against Clance 14, which is an interesting fellow. This individual, so this has to do with Voltron, like most great
Okay.
things in the internet. There was a studio tour in which people got to tour like the production house for the new Voltron.
People are commenting on it right now.
Oh no, that's fake. This is just the credits. Like so much of this website is trying to trick you. Anyway, so people posted storyboards from unaired Voltron episodes. The studio was like, you should not have taken those. Please take them down. Most people did, but Clance 14 said no, I will not. He blackmailed the studio
What?
because he wanted his
How?
ship to become canon, which is between two characters in the show, Keith and Lance. So he's Clance. He thinks that these two characters are very gay, and that the show's creators need to acknowledge that and write it into the show. So here's a little Twitter.
Nice.
Studio Mirror said, "Hello from Studio Mirror. We sincerely ask that you delete the reposts regarding Voltron confidential materials, as Studio Mirror is in serious legal issues with DreamWorks Animation as a result." Clance replies, "Hi, make Clance canon and then I'll take them down from my Tumblr. Blogs not dedicated to Voltron also had the leaks."
Oh my gosh!
So this gentleman
Stick it to the man.
Wow.
basically blackmailed a company that was being sued because of the presence of those materials online and refused to take them down unless two cartoons canonically fucked, because he really wanted them to.
Is it blackmail?
Yes.
I guess you're not profiting. No, you.
No, it's blackmail. He's getting something for it.
Yeah. So he's a hero. Sadly, his
Or is
Twitter
it
account has
extortion?
been banned. Yeah.
It might be extortion.
I think, might be a little
Yeah.
more likely. Well, extortion is like preventing the release of information. He was refusing to remove.
Is it entrapment?
No, it's not entrapment. Entrapment's like
Oh, Catherine.
that's like to
just
catch
going
predator.
under the lasers.
Wow.
Dodge the lasers.
Use that ash to
like
get
the-
under the lasers.
Clance's balls here are amazing because this isn't his content.
Yeah.
No.
All he has
He didn't
is a
even steal
Tumblr
it.
post.
Yeah, he
So wait, he
reposted
took
it.
pictures of it, or what did he do?
Other people took pictures of storyboards. He ripped them because they were posted online. He reposted it and refused to take that post down
Oh, okay.
until the animation studio canonized.
So
his-
it's not even. Wow. Okay.
And so what's his? What does he want made? What's
he
his-
wants Keith and Lance to be canon lovers in Voltron.
That's a lot of work. That's
Yeah.
not, I hate to burst his anime bubble, but
How far through the new Voltron are they?
at least half.
Maybe it could be part of the second half of the season.
You know what the studio should do is just say sure,
Yeah, you got it.
Well, yeah,
and
they
then
should.
and then go JK.
Yeah, but then he'll save it on his computer for just in case.
And I'll post it again.
if they don't put Clance in the new Voltron
I
season.
think right now some lawyer's rolling his eyes, going,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
never mind. Jesus Christ.
Is there more conversation in this?
No, I think it's just this. I think this post is what
that-
caused the legend. But the Clance Twitter account is not there. I'm pretty sure he was banned from
Oh.
Twitter for doing this.
Nice.
Oh really?
I mean, yeah, you can't.
This is awesome.
It's like somebody else's intellectual property. It's
Yeah.
digital theft. And I mean, like if somebody stole something, handed it to you, and then the cops said, "Give that back," and you said, "No, not until you give me a satchel of money
I know.
or make two dudes fuck." But I want to say, like that's really illegal. So, all right, let's throw it to a vote, I guess. Howl at Midnight versus Clance 14, hero of our time. John, who do you? Well, wait, no, I'll leave you for last because you haven't weighed in yet on either. of
Okay.
these. Bruce, we'll start with you.
I'm voting for Clance.
Yeah?
The ball's on that man. I mean, or woman, or whoever, or they, is awesome. I love it.
It's a guy.
I love it.
Maybe. I don't know. Adam.
I've been looking for a Batman replacement in my life for a while, and I think it's Clance. I think Clance is he's not the hero we deserve, but he's the one we need right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that kind of locks it in. But John, just for the records.
I mean, I got to agree. I think Clance is a perfect portrayal of, that hard Nettin attitude of, I'm going to get my way.
Sex appeal.
Someone call him the Dark Knight of Hard Nettin.
Yeah. He's got a K. Dark Clans.
Tonight, yeah.
Night.
Wow.
Clance.
Cool.
Good for him.
Take that, you furries.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here, Howlett.
Banned from Twitter Clance. He really is the hero we need right
a good
now.
run.
Yeah.
I'll dig into this a little more and see if I can unearth any fallout. I just some light Googling and wiki diving. Didn't seem like there was a whole lot more to the tale aside from that one tweet of this gentleman demanding canonization.
He's been erased from the internet.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't killed him.
They just drove him to ground. He's gonna pop back out at some point.
Clance.
Hero. Just like we'll pop back out
No, I am Clance.
a week from now.
We're taking
No,
next
I am Clance.
We're taking next Monday off for Clance Day. He died.
It's every Monday.
He died for our Voltron screenshots.
So sexy. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, either you have come to understand that you are a terrible sexist, in which case, shame on you. How dare you be on this internet of ours? Or you have been excused based on what Battlefield game we assigned to the problem you had with the trailer. So hopefully somehow in all that you found some closure. We certainly did. I've never felt more self-righteous than I do right now.
I don't remember half of what I said.
I don't
I
remember at all.
didn't think that we were going to definitively answer everything, and then we did.
We
I was
did.
like,
Every
we
one of them.
solve issues?
Yeah, people will now change their minds based on the words we said.
That's right, he's right.
That's great.
He's right about that.
John said it couldn't happen, but it
I
just
know,
did.
but we
wrong.
did it because we were
wrong.
so right. God damn it! I gotta learn to keep a straight face.
That's a Battlefield Bad Company 2 sentiment if I've ever heard one right there, Adam.
I would agree.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week. If you're watching live, stay tuned for the post show. We've got some fan art to dig through and some real life problems to discuss. But till then, we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. I was just thinking if you could chalk up with Coke and then give a dude a hand job.
Well, no, we'd have
You'd have
so
to-
many
you'd
more
have to
diseases.
cram it in the tip.
Yep.
or
Sting, though.
or if they had cuts on their dick.
Which they probably do because
right.
you give them a hand job with
It'd be easier to get the ball sack cut a little bit, and then when you're doing
You
that,
just pack it in.
or I guess you just
and then sew it up.
when you get one knuckle deep into